want to be like me, look like me, follow me. All right, stick with me, kids, you go a long way. Me and my sister were fostered with a white family in Brighton. When I was young, this used to be like a jungle.
Yeah, no.
It used to be like a jungle.
It was even mad when I was younger.
Really?
And I'm only 20.
Angels come along. She certainly was an angel for me at the time. But what that woman's been through, and that she just keeps on going. We went to Downing Street. It's not really a black thing, is it? Like these Chesterfield chairs.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Box Talk.
This is Beyond the Bell with myself, OLADIPO, former heavyweight champion, and the great Roy Jones Jr. My mum was pregnant with me over here in the UK, but at the time, with no husband around, no partner, my dad was doing what most dads back in those days did, gallivanting around the world. So she didn't want to have me over here because she just didn't know what to do. So she took me back to Nigeria, and she had me there. She had me in Nigeria. So I was born in Nigeria. I was born in a place called Abeokuta, Ogun State. And when I was 1, I came back here. Me and my sister were fostered with a white family in Brighton in a place called MOULDS, which you go back to now. It's nice, it's peaceful, there's a couple of universities there. Back then, in the 80s, very racist, very, very racist. And I remember those memories of just growing up and being called monkey and the N-word quite a lot. Other than that though, I think my childhood, especially with the lady I call Nan now, was fantastic. I thought she treated us unbelievably well, so much so that when we came back, so my mum took us back I was 9 or 8.5, my sister was 13, but we used to go back every 6 weeks, like 6 weeks summer holiday, would always want to go back. The upbringing was fantastic. I enjoyed it, and I feel like it's helped me in life now. I've had the strict African upbringing, but I've also had a white upbringing as well, so I've had kind of the best of both worlds, I think.
And when you think about your mum making that sacrifice early on, like how do you reflect on that?
For years, with anger. For years, like so many years with anger, because especially when you get older, you kind of like, why? Like, who gives their kids away, blah, blah, blah. But then you listen to my mum when she talks about it, she always gets very emotional when speaking about it. You realize that my dad wasn't around. She was the only one from her family that flew over from Nigeria to London to be with my dad. At the time, she was trying to juggle 2 jobs, a degree. She couldn't look after us. She just simply couldn't look after us. And she thought the best thing was for us to kind of go with this family who, again, hindsight's a wonderful thing, but it was the best decision she could ever make, I think, for my growth. So it was with anger, but as you get older and you get a bit wiser and you speak and you have dialogue, not just with her, with other people that have been through that system as well, you realize that no one wants to give their kids away. Like, it's not, you don't wake up and think, oh, it's easy pickings. It was a tough decision for her, and I think it's one that she still probably lives with a bit of guilt, because I can tell how emotional she gets when we still speak about it. But we're okay. I mean, we've grown up to be okay, so in the sense that she was okay, it was the right decision. This is weird. This is like a little drive along in the hood. I say the hood, it's not even a hood anymore.
I was going to say, it's Morrison's right there.
Yeah. I don't get it twisted. People still nick chickens from Morrison's. But back in the day, it's a bit of a naughty area, Stratford. I say back in the day, when I speak to kids now that are like, I got nieces and nephews who are like 18, 19, 20, and they'll still tell you that Stratford is a very dangerous area. So we don't see it. I saw it when I was like 18, 19. Obviously, I don't see it now. I look at it and think, nothing happens here. But yeah, shit does happen here.
Yeah.
A lot of shit happens here.
Yeah.
But it is nice to see it being redeveloped. Some people will say it's gentrification. I get that. That's the job centre I used to go to. I'm not proud about it. Oh my God! I'll tell you this, about this. A funny story about the job centre. Yeah. Obviously, look where it is. It's bait, isn't it? Like, if you go into the job centre, everyone's gonna see you. That was the one reason why I wanted to come off JSA, because I was embarrassed to be seen, because it's like so obvious. And then they knew what they were doing. They're like, Ade, you need to come and sign on 1 p.m. I'm like, nah, you're doing it on purpose. You're doing this on purpose. 1 p.m. where everyone's gonna be outside. So we're literally coming up to my old dear's house, my mum's gaff. Mum's away in Nigeria right now.
So did you live here when you were growing up?
This is where I live. Yeah. So basically, as you can see how close, dude, it is from where I live.
Yeah.
Now. And that's why I was like, when they gave me flowers, I was like, come on. Like, can you not give me 10 minutes away from my mum? It literally is 10 minutes from my mum's house. But I lived there from 88, apologies, until I got kicked out. When was that? I don't remember when that was. 2000? 2000? Every African household, if you go to an African family's household and they don't have that, they're not African. That's fact. They're not. Everyone's got this photo that you don't want to take. Your mum dresses you up like you're the same. And we took it. I'm trying to think how old I am here. I think this might have been when I first came from Brighton. I don't know if you can. I don't know if you can zoom in on. I don't know if you can see there's a mark on my head. I don't know if you can see that. It's going to be quite tight to see. The reason I'm pointing that out is because there were garages behind my mum's house, and me and my friends used to just jump on the garages like we think we're fucking Supermen, and I fell and cracked the side of my head.
Yeah.
Open. You know, as a kid, you think it's the worst. I was going to say I cracked my skull. I didn't. But I remember and I remember my mum being livid. So yeah, I must have been about, I'm going to say 10. I think that's the last year of primary school.
And that was the moment where your personality changed.
Personality changed, but I went into a bad boy. First year of secondary school, like, everyone must have this photo, right? For those of you that are wondering, did Ade ever have hair? Well, clearly I did have fucking hair. So fuck yeah, I wasn't born bald. I love this picture of my mum. This is ages ago. And you know, I might steal it actually, I might take it. And the reason I love it is because as a kid, I remember like my mum partying every weekend. Like, she might laugh about me going raving. She did exactly the same thing. Like, it was different for her. She'll get dressed up, and Nigerians, you always get dressed up in your gold, and it's always colourful. Like, everything's about colour. And my mum has thousands of these outfits, to the point where us in the family like, just get rid of them, but she won't, because I guess they all tell stories of her past. And then sort of going from that to her now as an old woman, this is without doubt the favourite photo of my mum. Like, I think she looks beautiful there. I think she looks absolutely stunning.
Yeah,
she really does. She's presence, everything about her there. The colour, again, colour. Right, that's all. colour. And she's got jewellery to match the outfit. She's got lipstick to match the outfit. And yeah, she looks stunning there. And this woman, yeah, what she's been through, I guess most people have these stories about their mums, but what that woman's been through and that she just keeps on going. Yeah, like that. So when I do everything I do now, and I think of like financially, it's just to make her life in these later years better. It's not even for me. I'm cool. I can do whatever I want to do, but it's so that she can go on holiday, and when she's on holiday, she can floss and enjoy life. And hey, mum's spending money. Let her spend money. We'll keep sending her more money. Man, as much as my dad wasn't around in my life for a long period, the times he was, for me, it was always joy. Always joy. Maybe because I showed such a love for sport early, and the sports that he loved. My dad was a massive Steve Davis fan, snooker, massive. And there was a time when it used to come on every time, grandstand, 12:30, snooker would be on, and I'd sit with my dad and he would watch it, and I would watch it because it was time with my dad. Darts, same thing, Eric Bristow, like random stuff, like a guy from Nigeria loving Eric Bristow, and Steve Davis is the most random thing. And then Liverpool came in, and he loved Liverpool because Liverpool had, at the time, what most people consider the best black player in the world, and that was it. With Africans, it was almost like you follow who is the best black player, which is why now there's so many Chelsea African fans because of Drogba. Do you know what I mean? And Man United African fans because of Andy Cole, and Arsenal fans because of Ian Wright. Tottenham was also my love because I genuinely thought I was going to play professional football. Like, I remember in school, there was me, there was a guy called Alton Farewell, and there's a guy called Trezor Candle. Alton Farewell went on to play for Tottenham, and Trezor Candle went on to play for Leeds. I was considered better than all of them. I was the one that went to Essex schools with John Terry, Bobby Zamora, Patrick Adjuman. Everyone was like, okay, Ade, you're going to make it. And I remember Alton getting scouted by Spurs, and there was a guy called John Higley. And I remember thinking, oh, it's going to happen to me then. If Alton's getting taken to Spurs, I'm going to get taken to Spurs. So I went on a couple of trials. I was there or thereabouts, like with this trialist groups. And I remember thinking, surely I'm going to make it. And in the end, I didn't. And I think for years, I just kept making excuses. Oh, I didn't make it because my mum didn't let me play football every Saturday and Sunday, or I didn't make it because of A, B, and C. I didn't make it because I wasn't good enough. That's the ultimate, the honest truth. I just wasn't good enough. And you kind of look back and you think of the players that still didn't make it that were much better than me. So in the end, it just came down to ability. And it took a while for me to admit that. It just wasn't good enough. But I was so happy for Outward. I remember saying, whichever one makes it out of both of us, the other one has to look after the other one. And Outward certainly, like, you know, stuck to his side of the deal. He looked after me.
What we're doing, we're just having a quick look at the school.
You know, yeah, this is it, Rokeby School. Or it's not Rokeby anymore. I don't even know what it is anymore. But this was the school of schools, brother. I remember, think about this. It's an all-boys school, 1,000 boys. Yeah. Good luck to the teachers. Good luck to the teachers. What's it called now? School 21. I don't know what that is, but that used to be Rokeby School. And that over there, yeah, used to be a pub. So the teachers would go there and drink at lunchtime. And you'd be like, obviously, back then you didn't understand. Like, you're getting drunk and then they're coming to teach us. But yeah, there was many a fight.
It's probably the only way to get through it.
Mate, I can't imagine how they done it. But there was many a fight here in this Rokeby school. And then, if you're having a fight, as many used to do, or if another school wants to come and fight you, so there used to be a school called St. Bon's. Again, an all-boys school. So that was the one base. It was like Rokeby versus St. Bon's. And St. Bon's is about 15 minutes here. So neutral ground, yeah. I'm sounding like this is a boxing movie, was the local park at the top of the road. And that's where you'd go deep into the park, and that's where the teachers can't get you. But the problem is, everyone would know there was a fight, so eventually the crowd start coming and the teachers would come. But if you want a good little scrap on the cobbles, as they say, you'd go to this park right here.
Yeah.
Stratford Park, the Wreck we used to call it. And that's where you used to fight, basically there. That part right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And can't lie to you, sometimes you're hoping the teachers come, because there's some of them boys from St. Bon's were big. So you're like hoping the teachers will come. Barbershop there, another level. That's when boys to get their trim. Still there now. Still kicking it to this day.
Oh shit.
Man. And the police station, my mum took me to this police station when I was 15. Just took me in.
She took you in?
Took me into the police station when I was 15 for them to have a word with me about just life and my conduct. She was getting a bit scared. And again, I was never really that naughty, but you hang around with naughty people and that bullshit about birds of a feather flock together. So mum took me in. I've come out of school, I've done well in GCSEs, as well as I thought, you know, B's, C's, A's. I actually was quite a smart kid. And I also knew financially, my mum couldn't, because school was uniform, right? And everyone's wearing a uniform, so that's easy. In college, it's free for all. You have to wear smart, casual clothes all the time. And I was like, my mum clearly can't afford to, you know, hook me up with the latest trainers and the latest clothes. So Burger King came along. And it's funny, but because obviously it's small money now, but at the time, like 100 quid a week I was earning sometimes, 120 quid a week. And I couldn't juggle the fact that I would not make money or be in college. So there'll be some times when they would ask me, do I want an extra shift at Burger King? And I should be in college. And I'd say, extra shift at Burger King. Just because all I cared about was looking good. All I cared about was wearing the latest Moschino at the time, and it was Iceberg and Valentino, rather than in college, and my A-levels just completely suffered. Yeah. I studied accounts, IT and economics, and I failed all three. Yeah. Wasn't even close. I got like a U, an E, and a Z or something. I'm not saying that bragging, that was embarrassing, but all I cared about at the time was just making money and looking cool and looking good, and that was it. And college really didn't matter, and it's a shame in hindsight because it affected me in years to come, but yeah, I didn't necessarily care about college.
So can you tell me about the repercussions of those bad A-level results? What happened there with your mum?
Oh, she wanted me out. Yeah. She wanted me out immediately. I let her down. My older brother has been to jail. Two older brothers actually who've flunked. My sister had a baby early, and the other ones were obviously a lot younger than me. So I was the one that was gonna actually put some pride back into the family name. Again, she didn't know what I was doing A-level wise, so she just assumed I was going to college, I was doing well. There wasn't no like parents' evening where someone was gonna tell her, okay, no, your boy's flunking. So she was very, very upset. And I remember when I got the results, I knew I'd messed up. Like I didn't even have to go and get the results. I knew it wasn't one of those ones where I was like, I'm excited to go to college and see what I've got. I walked knowing I'm fucked here. And then my mum asked me and I just told her I failed, and it was like, get out now.
And so where did you go from there?
I initially stayed with a friend in a hostel called Focus E15. E15 was the jungle. If you were sheepish, you'd get swallowed in E15. It really was. It was a hostel for people that have either been kicked out, people that have had bad upbringing, or people that have been released from jail. And it was 144 people in what was a block of flats, and it was for 18 to 24-year-olds. So you can only imagine what 18 to 24-year-olds that have had a bad history are all getting up to in that building. I mean, there'll be times when your door would get kicked down, there'll be times when that'll be kicked down by either your neighbour, who's maybe seen you walk in with a TV, the police, the security guards in the building. The building had security guards in it. So it was tough. I mean, I'm from Stratford, it was in Stratford, so I was okay, but anyone else that was not from Stratford that lived there, it must have been very, very difficult. But yeah, I was there for like 4 years.
I used to go in the corner. So I used to go number 94. Number 94. That was like before I was really thinking I could get a flat out of here. So I used to see everything going on. So if police are coming, I'd see it. If there was fights coming, I'd see it. If there was any drama, if someone was trying to clamp your car, you'd see it.
Yeah.
And now, nothing.
Yeah.
Nothing. It's crazy. This is mad. Brother, what is this building now? Is it still Focus?
Yeah.
It's still Focus, E15?
It's still Focus E15, but it's more like a mother and baby unit.
Is that it is now?
Yeah.
Fucking hell, mother and baby. I used to be here years ago. When it was Focus E15.
I remember it. Focus.
Yeah, you remember
I've
when
been
it
coming around there for years.
Is it?
Years.
Changed.
Now my daughter lives here.
Your daughter lives here? Oh, okay. Well done, brother. Ade. Nice to meet you, cuz.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Jeez.
Yeah.
No, I used to live here.
little dock?
Yeah, it's a little dock about it. But when I was young, this used to be like a jungle.
Yeah, no.
Used to be like a
It
jungle.
was even mad when I was younger.
Really?
And I'm only 20.
What's it like now?
Okay. What's it like now?
It's
Nothing.
slightly
I'm seeing
calmed
mothers
down.
and babies walking with
Yeah,
prams.
there's enough,
Not like that anymore then.
Nah, you will get the
Yeah. Still can go.
the odd mad people.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know where they are already, so I stay clear.
Stay clear, cuz.
Second floor,
Yeah.
third floor, and the fifth floor, just don't.
Really?
Yeah, just don't.
See that?
Don't.
That's
Second
mad.
floor, as soon as you come out the lift, I'll guarantee that first house, the door to the left.
Yeah.
You know when you come out the lift and there's that
Yeah,
first
yeah,
door
yeah.
and that mad house.
It's mad, innit? That's how it's just.
There was all fighting the other day,
That's what I'm saying. That's what used to go on here on a regular.
but you still get often mad people coming in and out, trying to sneak through or going out the back.
Crazy.
It's nuts.
Stay safe, brother. Stay
Yeah, have a
safe,
good
cuz.
day, though.
You too.
You
See you later, bro.
Yeah. That's what it's like. It's obviously still the same.
Yeah.
Still a jungle. I'm telling you. Still a jungle. I guess it's mellowed a bit because, like you say, it's mothers and babies here. Back in the day, it was none of that. No mothers and babies. It was just us. And it's funny seeing him because he was the age I was when I came in.
Yeah.
So you hope that, you know, he can use it to what I used it for eventually to come and get out. Not to use it as a place just to kind of just doss and do nothing, but to use it as a way to get out of here and get a flat and progress with your life. Not many do. Like, I was one of the lucky ones. Not many people do. Fingers crossed they do, man. Fingers crossed they do.
I think for me, so the way it works in Focus is that you enter the building, and although it's one big story of flats, the flats are separated into new entrants and then people that are possible to get flats from the council. So I was in the new entrant scheme for about a year and a half, and that's when it was fun. Didn't really care, wasn't paying rent because you had to pay rent in the building, just living, honestly, just living. And then I remember one of my caseworkers came to me, almost like a mother-like, and she was like, "What are you doing? Like, you're smart. Stop pretending to be a bad boy, you know, whatever, because you've got a couple of tattoos. Get out of here." Like, they're gonna, you know, they give you a council flat. And so then I progressed to the next side of the building, and that's when it kind of like the penny dropped. Like, I can actually get a council flat out of these people, and then eventually you buy the council flat. And that's when I started to get really serious and like start to pay rent and try and just stop all my issues and all the problems. And that's kind of where I maybe sort of left a few friends in the background. Like, okay, you're not doing what I want to do. I need to get a flat out of here. Like, we have to use this building for a reason. And that's when I met a good friend that helped me sort things out. It's weird because females have been the most important people in my life. I kind of think about it now, actually. I think of my mum, my sisters, my nan in Brighton. Rose is definitely within that, and there's one other as well. But Rose, I actually met Rose at Burger King. We actually worked together at Burger King, and Rose was in the hostel as well. Rose didn't need to be in the hostel. Rose was just, she figured out very young that you can say you're homeless, get in the hostel, get a council flat, buy it. Rose did all that. Tick, 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 she done all that. I remember meeting her in the building. I'm like, "Oh shit, Rose, you're in the building," like blah, blah, blah. And she was like, you need to get out of this building. Like, the aim is to get out. And I was like, but I'm £5,000 in debt. Like, I barely paid rent in that building, but they don't kick you out because what's the point of kicking you out? And she was like, look, I can pay it for you, but you need to get out. And I was like, what? Rose paid the whole debt for me. Everything, like just paid the whole debt. Even with like, I didn't even know, like you get an account number and she'd obviously typed in the account number and I remember just the debt's paid. And I remember getting a letter from the hostel saying, okay, yeah, your debt's clear. You're welcome to apply for a council flat. And I was like, what? So Rose was, it's a shame that I don't see Rose anymore. She went and moved to China, but Rose was easily one of the most important people of my life, easily. Like I'm indebted to her, forever. An amazing person, like I love her, not like a girlfriend, boyfriend, but like a sister, like more so. She's right there with my sisters and my mum. The way I say I love Rose, I think she would probably say exactly the same thing about me. And I think if I was in a situation, I would do exactly the same thing to Rose. Like if she ever needs any help, and we've helped each other so much over the years. Angels come along. The Lord works in mysterious ways, doesn't he? Like angel just came along, and she certainly was an angel for me at the time. So I lived in Stratford since 1988. That's when I came from Brighton. And I remember thinking, like, when they offered me a council flat in Stratford, like it's funny, you look outside the window and Stratford now is very, very different, right? Very, very different. Very nice. You've got the Westfield, you've got the Olympic Park or the Olympic State. It's very, very nice. It wasn't that back in the day. So when I got offered the council flat, 17 years ago, I remember thinking, not Stratford, not Stratford. And they gave it to me and I remember thinking, I'm not accepting that. And it's funny because I came into the block, so this is still the flat we're in right now. I remember coming into the block, coming in and looking through the keyhole and thinking, oh, come on. Like, sorry, the letterbox, thinking, I don't want to be in this flat. But at the same time, I thought, my God, I've got a flat. Like, I've actually got it. Like, we've actually gone through the process of focus. We've overcome everything. I saw a job for Islington Council, and I remember speaking to someone at the time that worked at the council, and they're like, look, council jobs ain't great money, but they're jobs for life. So I applied to Islington Council for a customer service role. I think the pay was 18,000 a year. 18,000 a year at 26 is embarrassing, but 18,000 a year. And I remember going for the interview, getting it, and I remember just literally almost crying like, we have stability now. My missus, Dami, at the time, she was always into chairs like this. Dami would, again, maybe it's the Islington area thing, because, you know, in bars and pubs, these are quite frequent in there. So you see them all over the place. So I must have come home and she was like, oh, she wants to buy a Chesterfield. And I'm like, you know, she was at university. I'm sort of the one with the money, but I just told you my Islington Council wage, it wasn't great. And I was like, you know, they're kind of expensive, those things. So we'd bought one for like 900 quid. She was in Sainsbury's with her sister and she saw something on the board in Sainsbury's where people used to kind of put things up, little postcards of things for sale, like Post-it notes. And someone was selling a whole suite, so like a 3-seater and 2 armchairs for like 500 quid. And I was like, well, we just bought one sofa for 900. And she was like, you know what? Let's buy it. And I was like, are you crazy? Like, there is no more money. We can't buy shit. Like, what we doing here? But she was like, let's buy it and sell our one or try and sell it. So that's what we did. We used every penny we had left because there's no savings, whatever we had left. And we bought it and we sold it for 3 times the amount in like 3 or 4 days. Like, we'd taken photos of it, brought it home, taken photos of it and sold it. And then the light bulb moment happened. And she was like, oh my God, let's buy more of these things. We ended up buying hundreds. Literally, the house was full of them. Like, this front room right now, we didn't have a front room. Literally, it was stacked. Like, chairs angled up, stacked. We bought loads. We ended up, like, literally going to Newcastle, Scotland, Wales, literally just buying these older pieces. We almost became experts at it overnight. We went to Downing Street. Look, it's kind of it's not really a black thing, is it? Like, these Chesterfield chairs, to be honest, they're not. So they were surprised that there was 2 black people like buying, refurbishing these things and selling it to clients in Chelsea and wherever for big money. So it started to kind of get around, and then ITV found out about us, and ITV then done a little piece on us. And then Prince Charles came to our showroom in Bermondsey. And obviously that's a couple of years later from when we started, and that was like, what is going on? It was a fun ride, it really was. Box Talk was just, it brings a smile to my face just even thinking about it. Box Talk really was the greatest thing ever, wasn't it? It was just...
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Box Talk.
Forget boxing. I don't like this guy. And if I met him in the street, I'll iron him up.
AJ's brand's gonna grow and grow and grow. Us boxing fans will moan, but we're the silent minority.
I disagree with you slightly on that. WBO middleweight champion Peter Quillen. There's something going on in boxing. I don't know what's happened.
I remember going to Islington Council. I remember hearing Ryan talk about boxing, and here I am with my little casual boxing knowledge. We'll come up to Ryan and say, oh, no. And he would school me. And I didn't know, I 100% didn't know enough about boxing, but I was definitely the casual voice. Ryan was the hardcore voice. So we would go to Ryan's house most weekends, big fights. Ryan's very sociable. He'd have like 6 or 7 guys there, food, drink, and we'd watch boxing and just for hours, watch it. And then my missus, Dammy, at the time was like, you guys should just do something for YouTube. And we were like, get the fuck out of here. Like, Ryan's not comfortable talking, I think he would admit that, and I was like, I ain't getting on YouTube. But then we did. We certainly didn't have the fancy cameras you've got here. We recorded it from the back of my laptop. You probably see in the early videos, I've actually got the mouse in my hand because I didn't want the screen to go blank, because, you know, I didn't know what we was doing. I thought, I've got to hold the mouse because surely the screen goes blank, that means it's not recording anymore. We didn't know what we were doing. But we recorded, and yeah, it was a fun ride. Box Talk was a good ride for a couple of years. Me and Ryan, polar opposites, so it just worked. It really did, and that's, I guess, where my journey began, because that was my first ever time on camera, ever. I think the first video we made was 7 years ago, and that was my first time on camera, and then it kind of just took off from there for me. You know, like, we try and make life complicated sometimes. Being with Ryan and just going around, talking boxing, and we would bet on a bottle sometimes, we'd have arguments, but it was just, honestly, it was brilliant. I've done maybe over 1,000 videos. People still say, where's Ryan coming back? And I'm like, motherfucker. I've done 1,000 videos by myself. Give me some respect. Yeah, I take it personally. Like, where's Ryan? Nah, this thing's dead. Where's Ryan? I'm like, what do you mean, where's Ryan? What about Ade? Yeah, I was like, this thing's dead, bruv. You done well, but now bring Ryan back. And I'm like, that's the amount of love Ryan got. And look, me and Ryan haven't done a video for 4 years, maybe longer. Yeah. But people still respect and love Ryan's opinions, and I will bring Ryan back, 100%.
And then Dammy says to you, let's go to Nigeria.
Yeah. It's gonna go one way. We're either gonna split up or we're gonna get married. I know that sounds very stupid, but sometimes that's how it is. And so I proposed. I was like, okay. And then she's like, let's go Nigeria. Let's take this Mazures things to Nigeria. Like, we've reached the limit of where it can go over here. And I was like, you're right, we have. Like, I can't keep finding old Chesterfields. How many old Chesterfields can there be in the world? But we make them. And I was a bit upset because I just started to kind of make my way into this TV world. But I was like, you know what? I love her. I do want to go to Nigeria. I do want to kind of reconnect with my culture. And I do think this Mazures thing could take off as well. But at the same time, we both said, you know, you're English, but you're Nigerian. You might do well in TV over there. They might like it, the fact that you're a very English spoken person. So we made the decision to go to Nigeria.
And that was the end of Box Talk as well.
That was the end of Box Talk, man, and that was difficult. That was difficult because the Nigeria thing came just like that. It wasn't like a year in the planning, it was like a month in the planning. It was very like, I can get someone to rent this, let's go. And I hadn't had the conversation with Ryan, who, bear in mind, we'd filmed up until that point every 3 or 4 days. I mean, we were filming constantly. And then I just kind of told him I'm going to Nigeria, without a real man-to-man conversation. Ryan loved Box Talk. I think Ryan actually loved Box Talk more than I did. And so it really hurt him, I know, because we stopped talking for a while, didn't we? We did try and film in Nigeria a couple of times, but it didn't work. And then he tried to do it himself, then I tried to do it myself, and I did. I think I maybe done 80 videos myself in Nigeria, and I was like, this ain't right, it's our channel and I'm doing all the videos, so yeah, Box Talk just stopped. My thing about the Chesterfields, and it always was over here, was almost finding those hidden gems. So I would find a Chesterfield, and, you know, I could literally look at a Chesterfield and tell you everything about a Chesterfield, the leather, the springs, how old it is, how much it's worth. If you're making it from scratch, that's it then, isn't it? My love for it is gone because we're now making them from scratch. So it definitely became Dammy's thing. And I, as as a guy that wanted to marry her, I wanted to support her as much as I could, but I definitely didn't like it. My thing was sports. Her thing was furniture. So we're doing her thing. I'm not doing my thing. And she knew that. Like, she knew that Nigeria was only going to work for me if I was doing something out there that I enjoyed. It was always going to work for her. So she then, to be fair to her, started trying to find work for me as well, like in TV, but nothing. Nigeria is such a difficult terrain. There was like barely anything. And what there was unpaid, and we needed the money. We're out in Nigeria, we needed the money. So randomly, I'm on LinkedIn, and this is why I talk about the unpaid work. I was able to put a show reel together of little clips of me doing different things, and I just sent it to everyone in Africa. That's how stupid I was, assuming Africa was about an hour drive everywhere, north, south, east, west, when it clearly bloody wasn't. So I remember I reached out to a company in South Africa, and they're like, yeah, come down. I was like, oh my God. Then looked, and South Africa was 6 hours away from Nigeria. I was like, shit. And I told the guy, look, I'm 6 hours away. And he's like, no, we can pay for your flights. And I was like, this must be bullshit. And I remember showing Damien, I was like, there's this company, never heard of them in my life, said they're gonna pay for my flights and they're gonna pay me X amount every time I come down. And she was like, rubbish, like we've heard this already. Because we had got a lot of bad news. But then the guy was like adamant. And then a couple of weeks later, my e-ticket to go to South Africa has come. I was like, oh my God, this is happening. And she was in tears. I was in tears as well, because Africa was tough for us. Money was running out. Yeah, so I initially went to Kwesi to talk football. That was my thing. I remember I was on the first show with a guy called Daniel Amakachi. They used to play for Everton. And I was awful. I admit, you know, I was so wanting it, like desperate to get it, because we needed the money and I wanted my career to go, and this was massive. Like, this was a real station. Although I'd never heard of them before, you're there and this is the real deal. And I was awful. And the guy, Louvren Rensburg, pretty much admitted that, I mean, maybe this isn't your thing, but we've got a boxing thing coming up in 4 or 5 months. I know you know your boxing. We'll reach out to you. Louvren's, to his word, reached back out to me and said, oh yeah, we're just about to start our boxing. Remember, we reached out to you, we want you involved. Do you want to get involved? We agreed an amount, agreed a contract, and I was literally flying out to South Africa every single month to do Friday Night Fights, their boxing show. In my head, I always felt like we're always going to be together. Like, you know, we met on the train for my mum knew your dad. Like, there's too much there. And we're supposed to get married in June of 2018. And in April 2018, I said I still want to get married. And I remember like saying, I'm going back to London. And like, if I could do everything again, I still don't think I would have got married, but I would have handled it so much better. So much better. This is the person that I'd loved for 11 years. Like, this is the person where everyone's expecting this big Nigerian wedding over here in London. Everyone from her family in Nigeria had got visas to come to London. Like the hall had been booked. We didn't have much money, but every penny we had, we'd put into this wedding. And all hell broke loose. To say that like, that's the only way I can explain. Is it was difficult. My dad passed away when I was 21, 22, and it didn't really affect me. But I know I needed my dad then, like desperately. I needed someone of. I feel like my dad would have sat me down when I was thinking about walking away from Nigeria and be like, look, son, let me have a man-to-man conversation with you about women. And I never had that growing up. So I was always mucking about with women. I never had an adult sit me down and explain life. Like, my mum couldn't do it. My mum had 6 of us. She can't do it to everyone. That's not her job. I needed a man to do it, and I never really got it from my older brothers. So I remember when Kwesi stopped. So when I found out there is no more Kwesi, and at the time they'd owed me a few £1,000, and I remember thinking, all right, you know what? As long as I can get the money they owe me, I know how to survive on nothing. I've been there before where like we'll fucking eat tuna and rice for a year. It's no stress, honestly. That's what I was thinking. And I remember not getting that money and me thinking, all right, now I'm fucked. I have no idea what to do. I had no idea. So I definitely went into a deep depression. So bear in mind, it was sort of calling off a wedding, sort of being with someone that, when you be with someone for that long and you split up, it's almost like a death. It's weird. And now having no job. So I remember coming home and just questioning everything. I had a friend that was with me at the time, and I asked him to get out. Like, I didn't even want to be around him. My best friend at the time, I said, you know what, get out of the flat. So I was just literally by myself within my thoughts, and I had to seek therapy. It got to that stage where I actually called someone, and I remember doing speaking therapy first. It was over the phone, a couple of conversations. Then I was like, you know, this isn't even enough. I had to actually go and see someone for a couple of therapy sessions. And I don't know if it helped, but it helped talking to someone, because I was too embarrassed to tell my mum and my sisters that I had no money. Like, sis, and you know when people say no money, I mean none. Like, not like no money, but I'm getting something next week. So you know how to kind of manage it. Like, no money is in, there is nothing in my account. The balance went to £38.23. And yeah, didn't know what to do. I remember I'd started it in Nigeria, Boxing Talk with Ali. I thought, you know what, I need to do something. She's doing her furniture. I need something. I need my own fix. But I didn't take it as I was doing videos, but it definitely wasn't from a financial aspect. I was just doing the videos because I wanted to kind of sort of reconnect with the fan base, and everyone was like, oh my God, he's back. So that was the fun. So it almost felt like that was the connection with London still. When I got here though, and I'd gone through all the therapy and depression, it almost became a case of, okay, I need to get this channel monetized. This is gonna have to pay the rent. So I looked at it and thought, okay, you know, I'm not getting thousands of views, but if I do so many videos, that's the way it's gonna be paid. So I remember sort of thinking and messaging YouTube, why have you not monetized me yet? Like, come on, monetize me. And then they did. I got monetized, and I remember getting around, it was about 2 something, but I remember thinking, jackpot.
I felt like I started to get into a bit of a pattern, a bit of a rhythm. Like, okay, this is what I do now. I'm gonna do YouTube, when we wake up, we're gonna go gym, we're gonna come back to YouTube. So although it might sound a bit boring and mundane, at least there was a pattern there. A lot of the people say, oh, Adi, you helped us get through depression. I always respond back, you helped me. Like, just seeing some of the comments, like, oh shit, this video is mad. Just that alone. Looking at the likes, the dislikes. I shouldn't put so much stock into that, but it helped. So it's like, oh my God, people are actually liking this. And then just the feedback from the videos is like, this is getting me through this, man. So forget the money. So I guess it wasn't a lot, £500, £600, but just the feedback, the love I was getting from people was crazy. There was one time when I put a video out saying, look, if anyone's struggling through Christmas, you know, everyone's by themselves, send me your number, I'll call you. I was struggling. I needed to speak to people. But people were like, oh my God, Adi, you're amazing. I was like, no, you guys don't understand. I need the phone calls. So I'm doing it because I need it as well as you. And so yeah, it was almost my own therapy. I didn't need to go and see someone. The YouTube was my therapy. This thing.
That's a smartphone for everyone.
This is a Samsung S8, fucked up, old, battered. This is what I've been using on my YouTube channel for the last 2.5 years. I've even got this, the S20, and I don't use that. I use this because I think people should understand how easy it is to start. That's why I use that. That's it. And a little plug-in Boya M1 microphone. This, which goes directly into the phone, and this then obviously there's a lapel for you. All this, what's that? That's 15 quid. And the phone, I think you can get these secondhand now for like 80 quid. That's the YouTube content right there, people. With Nigerians, you have family meetings. We had to call family meeting. I was like, family meeting to discuss. So we pulled a family meeting. I told everyone I'm suffering depression. It's like crying in the meeting. And it's weird because, first of all, I don't think that's a black thing. We just don't do it. We suffer in silence. There is no, you're going through something. No, deal with it or pray. Those are the 2 options, deal with it or pray. So, so I think my sisters were all like, what? Because I keep this facade. Yeah. So like, you're struggling? Bullshit type thing. Because the dressing would still look good. You know, I cut my own hair, so I always look quite sharp. And they were like, what? And I was like, I'm struggling. Like, I'm struggling mentally, I'm struggling financially. And they all kind of rallied round. And then my mum was like, you need a holiday.
It's not the reaction you were expecting, I'm guessing.
I was like, holiday? I need money.
But she said, "You need a holiday," and I was like, "Mum, I have no money." She's like, "You went to Cuba with your friends last time, da 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 da," and I was like, "What?" Like, and she's like, "I'll pay for you to go," and I was like, "No." But then I thought, I do need a break. Mentally, I need a break. So I asked my friend Kwame if he would come, and so we went to Cuba.
Right before you went, for some reason you sent a speculative job application to Sky Sports.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
You know what it is? So I'd done Kwesi, I'd done ESPN Africa, I'd done Fox Sports. All that was in South Africa, but I'd done that, and I thought, wait a minute, stop doubting yourself. You've done Fox Sports and ESPN. Like Kwesi, no one knows, apart from industry insiders. And I thought, if you've done those three, Sky Sports looking for a presenter, just apply. So I put that down, and I thought, surely they're going to see ESPN and Fox. Surely they're not going to skim over that. And I just sent it, not really thinking, but I just sent it. I remember in Cuba, just getting an email saying, "Adi, we tried to contact you." Obviously, I'm like, fuck me, I'm in Cuba. I forgot. Yeah. And we wanted to come down for an interview. And I was like, oh my God. I didn't get the job I went for.
Yeah.
But then they were like, there's something about you. We love your energy. And there's a show coming up called the Football Transfer Show. Would you like to audition for that? Audition for that. Got that. And I'm obviously a baby. Started crying again. I was like, Sky Sports. Like this doesn't make any sense to me. I saw the people that were auditioning with me, and I saw some of them were powerhouses, like, really good, known broadcasters. And they said, no, we want you, Ade. With all your mistakes and stuttering, there's something about you. And I thought, well, there you go then. Let's go. Let's kick on now and let's start earning some money. Welcome back to Transfer Talk. I'm joined at the Sky Pad by Cardiff City centre-back Sol Bamba. He's not getting playing time at Chelsea, so I guess so. They've got Batshuayi there as cover, if anything. He wants to go as well. Big Zoo, I'm going to put you on the spot for this one. You're going to be in Jurgen Klopp's shoes. Obviously, we can't compare him to Ozil like that. My own show on Talk Sport. What?
And the reason I am slightly concerned is that Liverpool, and Klopp said this famously, that midfield's the engine room. If you're Dominic Calvert-Lewin and you've been watching the last two games and you think, wait a second, Harry Kane's played poor.
Andy Cole, Emil Heskey, Darren Bent, footballers I'd grown up in my era watching. It's just, so I'm interviewing them sometimes. I've got their numbers on my phone. It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, how is this even happening?
And now you're the host of the DAZN boxing show.
Dude, what's going on?
Bell, myself, Adi OLADIPO, you know who that man is, don't you? Former middleweight king, Andy Lee. The featherweight division, all of a sudden, in this country is an exciting one, right? We saw Lee Wood here last week. We got Warrington versus Lara coming up as well. I said that was a roadman fight.
That was a roadman fight.
That was a roadman.
That was Femi. You get it? That was.
This is Beyond the Bell with myself, Adi OLADIPO, former heavyweight champion, and the great Roy Jones Jr.
I ain't have a baby yet. Let me take my baby steps. I ain't get the Sadies yet. I ain't get the 80s yet. I've been working.
I'm gonna miss filming in the front room. I have to be honest with you, but I can't wait to leave. If I'm honest with you, like I feel like I've not had a front room for like 4 or 5 years. I've just been filming in it, and you've got fucking light stands everywhere. You got all this kind of stuff. But it's going to be good. It's going to be good to go to the studio. I will tell you this though, I'm super nervous about going to the studio. I'm super nervous about how it might not work. Do you know what I mean? It could all just flop. It really could. I mean, all this equipment that's cost a lot of money, it might not work, but you know what? We're going to give it a go regardless. We're going to give it a go because that's what life's about, giving shit a go. All right, final couple of bits. I can't lie to you. These Rode mic stands are amazing, honestly, amazing. Expensive, but worth every bit.
You got that studio look as well, you know?
This is it, and this is what I like. So that's it, final bit.
That's
Get
it?
out of here. Time to say goodbye. You know what's funny about this whole journey? Like, financially, and I hope this doesn't come across as being arrogant to people, but I'm actually doing okay because of TalkSport and DAZN. Like, I could just continue to do those things and nothing else. But there is still nothing more I love than my YouTube channel. There's nothing. To the point where I would wake up at like 6 in the morning just to do a YouTube video before I go to work. or just to keep it rolling. And now, for me, the most important thing, like right now in my life, the most important thing is the channel, right? That freedom of not working for a broadcaster, but owning my own kind of property. And that's why I want to go to the studio and make that move to the studio, because that's the growth for me. The growth is that. Like I've filmed in Nigeria in a small room. I've kind of tried my best to decorate this. The next stage is the studio, where I can interview people and do everything I want to do is on this green chair. Like nothing matters more than this. Because this has been through the journey with me. It's almost like this is like a disgruntled ex-partner. They've been through, right? These arms are worn because like, it's been through a lot. And there's more in it. There's more to come. Like this is, for me, this is now where it all starts. This is where it all begins. And I can't wait for the next chapter. I can't wait to see where my journey with this green chair goes. My journey with TalkSport will end. I'm not stupid to know that, you know, another Ade's going to come along and he's going to be a hot shot and he's going to be younger and better and far. He's going to come. DAZN, it will end. It ends for all the best broadcasters in the world. This won't, because I control this. And I think that's what's the most important thing. That this is my destiny. I've created this, and I will always do this. I genuinely mean it. There have been times when, you know, I'm shattered and I'm like, I haven't done a video. Get up, do a video. It's the most important thing. And I genuinely believe, and I've got onto a lot of people's channels, I genuinely believe I have the most loyal fan there is. There are people when I go live, like you behind the camera, you've been watching me for years, people that when I go live, oh, I remember you from Box Talk, and I remember the name, and oh my God, I do remember you. There's people that have been watching me for 7 years that haven't disappeared. And there are some people that will send me emails and, oh, Ade, you know, go back to your hardcore, don't deviate, and they're right, don't deviate. So I've got the most loyal fan base, and I feel like I owe it to them to continue to do this, to continue to say what I want, to continue to put out content that they like. So yeah, as much as this is a great time for me professionally and financially, I would end it all for the green chair. All for the green chair. I think it's time to take things to the next level.
Yeah. Ow! Yeah. Y'all think too small, I got big dreams. You just starting, I'm way ahead at the end scenes. Started reading and dodging all of the quick schemes. Money like your Spotify, boy, I got 10 streams. And I'm still looking for more. My people, they got a soar. I'm putting that on the Lord. Ain't accepting, ignore, just kicking down all the doors. Guarantee you, boy, if I ask for it, it's gotta be real big.
What's good, peeps? All right, let's do this.
That mean I got goals that's real big, foes that's real big. Y'all offer too little, sorry, my soul is real big. Coming into the ring with blows that's real big. I gotta do it big, that's the only way I can live.